Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, it's unusual that we'll have three nominees to very significant positions, that I've found myself in total agreement with all three of them, including, of course, the minority nominee. And they're eminently qualified, and I look forward to enthusiastically supporting all three of your nominees. I would offer a second opinion. I would just make the statement the EPA has been very responsive to the requests of which a reference has been made. Mr. Benevento, last month we sat in my office and discussed some issues of importance to Oklahoma, including the future of the small refinery exemptions. I'd like to follow up on that conversation. I'm encouraged that the administration recently sought a 2-week extension of consideration of whether to appeal the 10th Circuit decision that invalidated certain SREs, and I'm hopeful that the administration would repeal this. I would just ask the question, any comments you might want to make, Mr. Benevento, that you're going to be confirmed, and when that happens, would you ensure that small refineries will get some form of relief? We can think of a lot of different things that could come forth, but as a general rule, there are some things that could be of help to the small refineries. What thoughts do you have about that, and what kind of commitment would you make to that extent?
Thank you, Senator. So the 10th Circuit decision came out just about the time my nomination did, so I haven't been involved in the lot of the discussions that, or any of the discussions that have been happening internal at the agency since then. But moving forward, what I can tell you is that I'm happy to work with you and other members of the committee in Congress, along with the administrator, to ensure that whatever direction is ultimately determined, we move forward on. It's equitable to everybody,
including small refineries.
Yes, sir.
Well, I appreciate that very much, and I have no doubt that you will do that, because we've worked together in the past, and it's something that consideration that has to be made. Commissioner Wright, in 2015, when I chaired this committee, I scrutinized the NRC's budget and fee recovery practices, and what I found out was that NRC budget had not decreased in keeping with the drop in new reactor licensing and premature closing of existing plants. So I introduced NEMA, and with its budgeting and fee reform and provisions to improve the accuracy and fairness of their financial practices at the NRC. I would like to ask you, is the NRC prepared to implement the NEMA recommendations in fiscal year 2021 and begin budgeting more accurately and fairly? Just kind of a comment about that, and then anything else in the remaining time that you'd like to add in terms of some of your priorities. I would appreciate hearing.
Senator, thank you for the question. So the NEMA implementation, I believe, is going well. Mm-hmm. We've made necessary adjustments to our budgeting and to the way our reporting processes, and we've already submitted, I believe, 9 reports to Congress so far, and I think we have another one coming in July as well. I mean, I will tell you that we are challenged in certain areas because of some of the the 5% reduction every year they've been going through even before I came a commissioner, and then to hit the cap. So we want to make sure that we're making the necessary changes to our budget so that we can hit that 30% corporate support cap, which I share the chairman's disappointment that we missed it a little bit this year. I think we were at 31. Yes. But I do think that the agency is doing everything that they're really making a really game effort to do it. And as the GAO report just came out recently here, and they did recognize that we are making some strides, and there are a couple of things that still need to happen. And I agree with the recommendations that the GAO report suggested too. So there's more work to do. And if we are challenged, I will commit to you and the other members of the committee, we're going to come talk to you.
Okay, that's the deal. And Mr. Hansen, any comments as far as your priorities are concerned that you'd like to share with us?
Thank you, Senator. I think budget implementation and the reforms under NEPA are important. I also think workforce development is critically important in maintaining the workforce at the NRC. Like a lot of federal agencies, I understand they have an aging workforce or a workforce that's increasingly eligible for retirement, and so getting people in the door on the young side and enthusiastic about what's going on in the nuclear sector is critically important, and a life in public service. I was recently at the University of Maryland at their test reactor, and I got to meet some of their engineering students down there. And I think the nation's test reactors at the universities, there's 36 of them, provide a really unique opportunity for students to get hands-on experience and can hopefully serve as a pipeline to the NRC in order to have that workforce that's needed to keep the industry going and to license new technologies.
Yeah, workforce is a problem. We've been dealing with that in a lot of other areas. One of the problems is that we have arguably the best economy we've had in my lifetime, and that makes it the job market a little different than it used to be. So there's a lot of competition out there. You got a lot of work to do.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Inhofe.